When these folks aren't locked up, they're a danger to society.
They're a danger to our
Keep your kids close. Know where they are. Know who they're with, or they could end up with somebody like this.
These are very wise words spoken by a consummate professional. Sheriff Grady Judd, who works tirelessly, and he is out there working night and day with his amazing team of investigators who are working tirelessly to bring thugs like this. But some people are naive. Some people don't see those red flags. There are some people, and Jennifer Soto might be one of them, that you can do something right in front of her and she wouldn't even notice it. There's a possibility for that. What do I think of the civilian predator catching a predator operations that are on YouTube and are out there on social media? I have a lot of thoughts about that. It's dangerous. It's something that I'm not saying that they shouldn't be doing it, but I'm telling you it's dangerous because these are people who are in fear of going to jail and could pull a gun out and shoot and kill one of these civilian folks that are out there doing it. And I commend them. I think it's brave to go and do this, but to do it unarmed and not as a professional, I think it should be left to the police to do this. I think if they do the undercover work and set up the stings, instead of them filming them and being there, they should call the police and have the police go in there with them when they go and get that done in a safer kind of way. We heard from our good friend Barbara Butcher, New York City Medical Examiner's Office Chief of Staff. She talked about so many different ways that they can come up with a time frame. They can't pinpoint it right down to the exact hour, the very minute, but there's ways through the autopsy, because the bodies that are at the autopsy room speak to the investigators, the forensic investigators, what's presented in front of them. So we'll have to wait and see about a time and cause and manner of death. Do you guys find it odd, a little bit odd, that the biological dad and the stepmom didn't really make a public statement? Or do you feel it's their right to maybe just remain quiet and not say anything? I just thought we would hear something from dad, whether he had prior knowledge or not of what was going on, or if anything shady was going on. And the laws have to become stronger. This country is too lenient on the predators. Well, the state of Florida is no longer and has never been lenient on these child predators. So these folks that are getting locked up are getting tried and to the fullest extent of the law. But Vinny, what he did on court TV and what he is continuing to do for Madeline Soto and bringing out the mom, Jennifer Soto, and Stephan Stern's lack of care, the silence. He goes on to talk about Jennifer Soto being silent and not talking anymore. There's some people who said that she went into a rehab or some type of psych treatment. I don't know. None of that's confirmed. It's just people talking.
A lot of people scratching their heads because, you know, in the initial press conference, they're saying, we believe her dead body's in his car.
Belief is not tantamount to proof.
Right. And I think in this case, it's strategically smart for the state to charge him with 60 plus additional felonies 62. For which he's facing life in prison, because people want to know. They want to know the specifics. And sometimes investigation doesn't get you there. So now you have leverage. You can sit with him and say, look, you're facing life either way. I haven't charged you with capital murder. Tell us what happened. And at that point, perhaps there are some unanswerable questions at this point that resolve all of these things we're wondering about.
Well, a lot of people also wondering about the mother.
The boyfriend.
Wait. Let's you're a family law guy, so you know better than all of us. But apparently the mother referred to him as Madeline's stepfather. We don't know what Madeline called him because she's not with us.
I'm sure she called him
predator.
I don't think they were.
Did anybody catch that? This guy with the red tie here, where my mouse is, he said that while Vinny was talking, he said she was calling him a predator, and he's right on the money with that.
But I'm saying he could he probably would be wishing for the death penalty. You don't want to be in jail forever with the conviction of those crimes. So back to that, he might say, please give me the death penalty after this trial. But yes, the mother, that's strange behavior. Why is she not out there telling the whole world everything she knows, talking to the cops, saying,
she might be. We don't know. We don't know where she is, by the way.
But remember, if she does, she may put herself in very deep yogurt.
Well, what kind of potential problems could mom have here?
Jennifer Soto was, in my eyes, and I'm a professional. I'm retired, but my job was to detect people who were lying and to hunt down evil and bring them to justice and take them off the street. And when I looked at her interview, and I looked at it for hours, I spent hours. I have spent hours looking at mainly Jennifer Soto's statements, and it just reeks deception for me. She does not come across as someone who's being honest and cares about her daughter. That, my friend, is not a reaction that you would get from somebody who is a loving and caring mom, that their 13-year-old daughter is now unaccounted for and out there in the middle of Florida with wildlife and all the stuff that's out there. And everybody who lives in Florida knows what's out there. She laid for arguably since Monday morning outside.
So if she is complicit in terms of the murder, these charges also can serve as leverage against her. A good lawyer can say,
what do you mean by complicit? What sort of action?
If she knows about the murder, but is not involved in the production of child sexual exploitative material or the sexual batteries, then now she can become a source of information to implicate him, who is seemingly more egregious in his behavior. If she has any involvement in the killing of her child, now those unanswerable questions can be answered through her, and he can be prosecuted.
I would guarantee you that we're going to hear about Stephan Stearns searching on the internet for multiple other victims. There is no doubt in my mind. But the second part of that question is, how could Jennifer Soto be living in the same house under the same roof? I don't care what friends are saying and what people are saying, that they broke up and that they had a rocky relationship. But if you're living under the same roof with somebody and they're molesting your child, you don't have an inkling of what they're doing on the phone or doing on their computers? I mean, look, I'm just basing this off of my experiences. Like, I use the same computer with my wife. We share a computer. We share a laptop. We don't share phones, but, if I left my phone or if I walked away from my phone, it would be sitting there open for my wife to look at it because I got nothing to hide. But somebody like this, you mean to tell me that he never left his phone and went in the bathroom or went outside and left his phone or was on the computer and she didn't look at his computer history? I find that to be oh hell no moment. So I'm going to say this.
Oh hell no.
So what he was doing, and he tried his best to make himself visible on cameras, but he made major mistakes and drove around with our victim, Madeline Soto, in the car, deceased. And police have him on video driving in his car with Madeline Soto, who later in the week was found dead, dumped at a location.